Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Night Fiction Club. Sorry we're a couple minutes late, but here we are. Voila. On tonight's show, I have, as always, my lovely co-host, Melissa Lummis. Hello, lovely Melissa Lummis.
Hello, buddy God. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm good. It
that's
was a
good.
wonderful
Hey,
Sunday.
hey, you want to tell everybody about this guy, this guest we have, who he is?
Who he is?
Who am
Well,
I?
it's Xavier. Okay, Xavier.
Mr.
For a second, I thought
Xavier
it was Jean
Granville.
Valjean.
What'd you say?
For a second, I thought it was Jean Valjean. Who am I?
Who am I? Yeah. Welcome to the show, Xavier.
Thank you, buddy. It is very welcoming to know that I am being welcomed.
Well, you're here tonight because you like reality TV a lot, and Melissa likes reality TV a lot, and we're going to talk about reality TV. We're talking about the real, unreal, and wacky reality TV. But before we do that, Melissa and I have a little thing where we talk about whatever books we are currently reading. So, Xavier, are you currently reading one or more books you'd like to share with the masses of folks who are watching us right now?
Sure. Let me think. Yeah, the problem with me is that I always have way too many books on the go. The one that I'm reading most, like really getting into, is the Jim Henson biography that just came out this past year.
Oh, cool.
Something Jones, Brian May Jones, or something like that. I can't remember who was the author. But it goes all the way from Jim Henson's childhood up till way into his career and eventually when he died. So so far I've only gotten up to the point where it's like the 1970s pre Muppets, like the actual Muppets. Like they had Sam and Friends and.
Oh, right, right.
And then eventually there was Sesame Street, and then eventually there was the Muppets. So, yeah, so far I've read, maybe about 10% of the book so far, and it's all just been his childhood growing up. So so far it's been a good read and just
Good.
inspiring stuff.
I'm curious, out of what you've read so far, have they tapped into when the Muppets were on Saturday Night Live? Have you gotten into any of that stuff?
Yeah, they were talking about that.
Yeah, 'cause I know for Saturday Night Live that wasn't such a great thing, but I was just curious. I'm sure that's interesting reading.
Yeah, no,
They just weren't a good fit on there, I don't think.
no, like they had previous success with the late night format, like with the Sam and Friends, and they had a couple of commercial ads that they had done before they had ever done any serious work. And it was always just that very loose cartoonish humor where the guy's getting hit with a big old mallet or a bomb exploding, and just zany
Right.
cartoon stuff. But it was edgy because you could show someone getting their heads cut off, but it was a puppet, so it was fun.
I've never even heard of that. Is that something that you can find online to watch? Do you know?
Yeah, most likely.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good read.
I'll find some links for you.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Thanks, Melissa. How about you? You reading anything exciting?
I'm reading. It's a book called Mind Over Medicine.
Mm.
That's my nonfiction book right now, and I actually mentioned it on my walking vlog today. But I highly recommend it for everyone. I'm almost done with it now. I'm going to go back and when I'm done and kind of go through some of the exercises she talks about in there. And I don't mean physical exercises. She actually, Dr. Lisa Rankin wrote it, and her whole thing is that, you can eat right and exercise and do everything the doctors tell you, but if you're not taking care of this and what's going on up here, you're not taking care of the whole person. So it's a little bit radical for a doctor to be writing something like this, and I admire her for stepping outside the community and voicing this. It's not always appreciated among the medical profession, from what I understand,
Mm-hmm.
but highly recommend it. And that's my nonfiction book, and my fiction I've been, okay, what was I reading this morning? It was good. Don't you hate when you forget names? Somebody needs to
I do.
replace my brain.
I do. What's your name again? Mary.
Melissa.
Mary Louise Lummis.
Marianne. No. I'll remember it in a sec. What are you reading,
It's
buddy?
Melissa. Okay. I'm reading a nonfiction book right now. I read it before, but I'm rereading it. It's by my favorite. I've mentioned Lawrence Block on here a lot. He's mainly known
Yes.
for writing mysteries, but I think about 5 years ago he put out a book called Step by Step: A Pedestrian Journey, all about how he's into walking. He's a very very avid walker, where he'll like get into marathons and walk,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's part that, but then it's part autobiography too, where he just talks about his life and his writing career. And I've just recently, as a lot of our friends know, I've just recently gotten back into walking, and I'm reading that, kind of because I'm like in that mode right now, and it's a good book, really, really good. And yeah, for
It goes
fiction.
along with the walking vlog thing, and
Yeah, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later too, because everybody's got a walking show right now, which is awesome. For fiction, I mentioned it last week. I'm still reading it. It's I don't know if it's The Hero or Hero. I can't remember right now. By Scott Richards. What is it, Xavier? Do you remember? Hero or The Hero? Not that it makes sense.
Simply Hero.
That's what I thought. Simply Hero, and that is not yet available for purchase, but it will be in the not too distant future. So when that's the case, I'm probably gonna have Scott on my show, a buddy's writing show, to talk about that.
Yeah, and I'm doing the cover for that one, so it should be interesting.
nice.
Yeah, Xavier does really good cover artwork too. So if you're looking for a cover artist, you may want to contact him. Peoples. What were you gonna say? I just heard it.
I just remembered. I'm reading Sand. I just started reading it today, so that's
Hugh
the
Howey.
Hugh Howey one. And there's another nonfiction that I picked up, and I just read the first chapter, and it's called "Trust Me, I'm Lying." Have you heard of this one?
No.
Rings a bell. I'm not sure.
It's the author is Ryan Holiday, I believe, but he's somebody who's been in the PR business for a long time, and he talks about how can I put it? How the social media and the blogging world has been used to, and I say used on purpose, been used for these campaigns, whether they're political campaigns or their product campaigns or their corporate campaigns or whatever. And basically behind the scenes, there's just so much going on. Honestly, you can't believe anything on the internet.
Right. Except for what we say on this show. People gotta believe everything said on here.
Yes, except for us. We're free of it, yeah.
Yeah.
We're full of it. I don't know which one. No.
Yeah, we're full of it, that's for sure. Before we get into our topic, I do want to mention a couple of our viewers who are watching live right now. David Anson is checking in, saying hello, all you wonderful people. Thank you. Hello, David.
Anson.
Patrick Stemps here. He said, I'd be interested to read about Henson's experiences on the Dark Crystal. I'm sure that is interesting to read.
Yeah,
Mike, what's that, Xavier?
I can't wait for that part of the book.
Yeah, I'm sure it is going to be interesting. I know you love that movie. Patrick Stemp, I can't remember if I mentioned Patrick. Michael Laron, I think, is watching us. And Lisa Stahl, if I didn't already say her name. She says she's going to chime in. Well, I'll save that one for when we get into the reality shows. But Melissa, I'm loving that look.
Isn't today May the 4th?
It is! Hey, that's right. It's worth to be with both of you.
And I've got my Jedi robe on here.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
May the 4th be with you.
I was going to dress in the gold bikini thing from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah, well, I have to work it out.
With the hood, I was more thinking Emperor Palpatine. I was expecting you just...
Yeah, why don't you shoot like electrical bolts out of your fingers for viewers?
Impossible power!
Well, think of Return of the Jedi, and Luke starts out with the hood over his face. Remember, he goes and he sees Jabba.
Yeah, and Luke, it was kind of funny because Luke was trying to be like all badass, and you can only take Luke so seriously as a badass. But
wait, hey, isn't what's the actor who played Luke? What's his name?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, isn't he going to be in the new one? Didn't they just announce that?
They just announced this week, the cast of the new one, and it had been rumored all along that the original actors were going to return, and they got everybody. Billy D. Williams is a notable exception for whatever reason. He's not going to be in the movie as Lando. But, we got Harrison Ford back, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, the actors who played C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, they're all going to be in it. And there was a bunch of unknown actors that they mentioned as well. And including, though, they got Max von Sydow in it. Old character actor. He's going to be in it. We don't know what their roles are, but that's coming out December 18th, 2015. So keep your day free.
Yeah. Putting that in my calendar now. Boop, beep, beep, boop.
We should do a show that night to talk about the movie.
We should get in line and do a show from standing in line to go see it. The Big Bang episode.
There you go. Hey, kids, let's talk reality TV.
Hey, woo!
Right.
Xavier, since you're our guest, why don't you tell us like one of your favorites?
Well, I decided to become a person who is prepared over the past couple of minutes. Like
we'll have none of that on this show.
I was just gonna say preparation. What is
it's
that?
Very uncharacteristic of me, and it was very just like on the spot. I don't know. What's life without whimsy every now and then?
That's right. You got to have the whimsy.
So this was serendipitous, or no, not serendipitous. This was spontaneous preparation.
Definitely.
And what's in the glass?
Right now,
Yes.
tonight I am sponsoring Wiser's
Oh, look at you.
special blend. We'll see what is so special about it. I am unconvinced. Okay, so I figured I would walk you guys through an episode of one of my favorite reality shows, which is called Bar Rescue.
Okay.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I've heard of this one. I haven't seen it yet, but I like this one. I like the idea behind it.
It's a decent show, but you watch it for the main reason why you watch pretty much every reality show, for the drama, for the loud noises, for the high-intense music, and the fast-cutting conversations that are cut out of context, all of the best things, and just the most ridiculous people that you would never even expect to crawl out from underneath a rock. You think that there's like even a rock couldn't hide someone of such ridiculous proportions.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
And the main host is such a person. The host, John Taffer, is a very apparently well-known businessman in the world of bars. And according to Wikipedia, he has a lot of mad credentials. He's actually a very wealthy man. And, buddy, you're probably familiar with the, the Sunday Night Football package.
Yeah, of course.
And, like, you know how in bars, how they have a specific sports package made for bars?
Right.
John Taffer made that up.
Oh, wow. So he's doing okay for himself.
He has sold many books. Like, he has about 3 different books about how to be successful and all this stuff. He is a very legit businessman in general.
But a little on the sleazy side? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's not sleazy. He is out of control. He is a, like, professionally and, morally, he is on the nose. He is, like, a great businessman. But on camera, he becomes a Muppet. His movements are insane. He has, like, the face of, like Brad Garrett, like, from Everyone Loves Raymond, just like, balding, like, just like the biggest Italian Jew you've ever seen. And he just comes in, and just shows this bar, a failing bar, a random bar, how to succeed. And I'm going to walk you guys through it, a single episode of Bar Rescue with some cue cards.
Okay. Wonderful.
So, number 1, the bar.
Okay.
There's always a failing bar. For some reason, either it's because of their employees stealing, or they just have invested so much money into their place and have no customers. There was some kind of like criminal involvement at some point, so that the place has a bad reputation. All these different things. For whatever reason, this bar in some random place is failing. So they call in the TAF.
Okay.
Which is my way of calling John Taffer. I refer to him as the Taff.
I like it. It's catchy.
So he goes in, parks his car outside of this bar. He has little surveillance cameras that are already installed in the bar, so he's just watching the way that a typical day goes. He's watching from his car, and then he sends in his spies. And he does call them spies. These are just people who are walking in and ordering a pint or getting a fixing of potatoes and gravy, and yet that is what on a resume you could call being a spy to John Taffer. His wife, Nicole, is his head spy. So after watching this bar for a couple of hours, or until the point that he is just some sort of food code crime. You okay, Melissa?
Sorry, I got water down the wrong tube.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I'm choking on water. Thank you very much.
Don't die on the show. We don't want that as a live exclusive.
Water can be dangerous.
It is. Wear water wings the next time.
I'm going to come on with water wings next time. I'm telling you.
I will expect it. Okay, so after John Taffer has finally had enough and seen enough of how this restaurant works and how it's failing to become a ball of anger, he storms out of his car, goes into the restaurant, begins accosting the manager, and gives them what I like to call number 4, the tough love.
Uh-oh, breaking out the tough love.
Yeah. He tells them, Michael Laurent says, I'm going to bring this one up.
Sure. I think I saw this.
Michael Laurent says, I've always thought that John Taffer looks like a fish.
I got to see this guy now. And Michael, I think first time live viewer of the show. Thanks for tuning in live, Michael.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. And yeah, he looks like I like to think of him as a discarded Muppet.
It's the one they didn't keep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So at that point, he runs them through tough love. He tells them like what they really need to hear. If their business is failing because of X reasons, he tells them every single one of them, just to really tell them how they're failing, what they need to do, and they really need to pull up their socks. But he just yells and screams and berates them if needed, and he becomes very animated and very hostile, and it's very funny.
This show, has it been on for a while?
4, 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm going to bring up another comment real quick from Michael Laurent.
Mm.
And he says, I love the angry beard avatar tonight, buddy Gott. If anyone's noticed my little picture there, I have a picture of the lovely and talented Carl Sinclair, who has been doing this thing online called bearding, where they've been taking guys with beards have taken pictures like in different situations, and this was the angry bearding series of pictures.
It scared me, but now that I look at it, he looks like a Muppet.
I had said that he looks like a skinny John Rhys Davies.
Oh, that's right. I did hear you say that, and that's true. I can see that. I can totally see that.
Lord of the Rings right over there. You can have my hammer.
That was pretty good. Oh, before I forget, I want to request this now. It doesn't have to be this minute, Xavier, but sometime in the show, I'd love for the viewers to see your Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay.
You put him on
he does a great Jeff Goldblum impersonation. Melissa, you want to talk about one of your shows, and I'll share some more of the comments we have. I'm sorry. You have more. Oh, I apologize. It gets better.
Gets better.
No.
Gets better.
All right, go ahead.
So at this point, John Taffer has told them what they have to do. Okay. So he runs them through a couple trials and a little tests to make sure that their bar staff and their cooking staff are working okay. And he talks to the manager about the bookwork and all the numbers and the money and stuff like that. So once that's all done, he helps them come up with a new concept for their bar if it's the name that's making them suffer. And then
'Cause that's all it is. It's just the name.
yeah. So before they do anything, once they figure out what they're gonna do, they do what they call the soft opening.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is the most disgusting way to say a unveiling of some kind. It's just they're doing a test on the staff to see how they perform under the stress of having John Taffer there.
Yeah, I don't know if soft opening quite applies
Soft,
there.
yeah, it's a soft opening. And eventually they change the name to something else because apparently I'm not the only one who thinks soft opening is a little stupid.
I think that's an industry term, isn't it? They do that for restaurants and.
Yeah,
it might be, but it just doesn't sound good on television. So once they're done that, and if mindless if they fail or if they do really well, a bunch of people come in and they do a renovation. So they completely overhaul the entire interior and exterior of the restaurant, and from there they do an unveiling.
Dun, dun, dun,
where they show off the new bar to the staff and get them to work in the new restaurant. And sometimes people you'll see a success story where the bar will start thriving and the staff will actually start doing their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of rooting for them to fail. It's funnier if they do. And the more drama and more times that people can get John Taffer to start screaming, the better.
Well, I'm curious to see this now. It sounds. I had heard of the show, but I've never seen it. It sounds pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, the concept is decent, but you stay for John Taffer. That guy, he is entertainment embodied.
Nice. And thank you for the cards there and that great presentation of the show.
I don't know. He's just raised the bar on us, buddy. I don't know if we can meet those kinds of.
I have just raised the bar at a rescue.
Oh, that's fantastic. We do have some. I wanted to hear some of your favorites, Melissa, but I want to just bring up a comment or so.
Lots.
Yeah, we are getting a lot here. This would be from. Oh, this is from Lisa Stahl. I have to say Hoarders is probably one of my favorite shows. I always get excellent decorating tips. Okay, interesting. I have seen that once or so.
Oh, I've watched many of those, and those are just gross. It makes me want to go clean my bathroom. I'm not kidding. I have actually, in the middle of that show, gotten up and wiped down my bathroom. I was like,
That's not good for the show if they have people doing that, though, because then their sponsors are, not being seen.
Well, as long as people are keeping the TV on.
Well, that's true. That's all that matters, really.
Playing in the background.
This is from MGon, a good new friend of the show. He's a cool guy. I can't remember the name of the one reality show I used to watch. It had to do with freaky, dangerous roads in very dangerous places in other countries that damn well make you appreciate anything you have compared to the hell they go through for some piddly amount of money. It cuts you off here, but he says, we Americans are so blessed.
I think I caught that show. It's not just like, here's this wacky, dangerous road in, Thailand, but it's like scary roads, right? Like places where you can get abducted.
Sounds scary.
Don't want to get down that road.
I want to bring this up. This is from Jim Giblin. He's a regular viewer of the show.
Hi, Jim.
And Jim's a guy I went to high school with. I've mentioned that before. So, he's only about 29 himself. He says, I despise almost all reality television that is not serves to exploit a person for the purpose of generating advertisement revenue at the expense of their mistakes. Although Hoarders, there's Hoarders again, does attempt to help their subject. Once the cameras are gone, so is the help. There are two shows that it cuts off, but I'll read it here. There are two shows that I am addicted to: Bar Rescue, which we just learned a lot about. Thank you, Xavier, and Restaurant Impossible. Although the following almost has the exact same principles or lack thereof. I always feel that they leave their businesses in a much better position than when they started. There was a restaurant near me not too long ago that was actually on that show. Jim, I think you're familiar with it. It was Rascals up on 13. I believe they had that on there. Okay, a little inside conversation there with me and Jim. But how about, hey, Melissa, let's go to one of your favorites.
Okay. Okay, I've talked about this one before. I don't watch, I watch Hoarders and stuff like that, but I don't watch the singing shows. What are they that are out there, those reality ones? I think that's the big ones that people watch.
Yeah, those are
I'm just...
The Voice and things
American
like that.
Idol.
Yeah, American Idol, I think, was the first one. I've caught bits and pieces, and I'm sure they're fine shows, Dancing with the Stars and all that, but I tend to find those bizarre ones. So the one that I really get into and I look forward to is also one of my guilty pleasures, and that is the Full Throttle Saloon.
I think you told me about this one.
Yeah.
What's the deal on there? What's that all about?
It's Michael Ballard's Full Throttle Saloon. He owns this saloon called Full Throttle Saloon, and they film, I guess, the 10 days while they're prepping and getting ready for, and then during the Sturgis motorcycle rally.
Oh, right.
So it's the main people are like Michael Ballard, who owns it, and he's this, older white guy with dreads, down his back. And then Jesse James Dupree, who is the lead singer for Jackal. They always play, like, Thursday night is Jackal night, and he always does some crazy stunt. And then there's Michael Ballard. So they got married. Then there's his wife, and I cannot remember her name to save my life, but she's this hot little thing who gets up there and dances, and she was with one dance group one year, and then of course it's a reality show, so you get to see them all bitch and fuss and carry on with each other, and it's one of those shows that I love to see the crowd, right? Because you can just picture, if you've never watched the show, the people there for the Sturgis motorcycle rally. I mean, it is all types, and there's always topless people and drunk people, and part of the fun is like some drunk guy getting in a fight with one of the people at the bar, and the bartenders, because all the bartenders have to be like these sexy females for the most part. I don't know that there are any male bartenders there. So it's always the drama of one year it was this bartender didn't show up. They didn't know where she was missing. They hadn't seen her, and they're about, I think they reported to the police that they couldn't find her.
Oh, wow.
And she turned up, bunking with somebody down the road or something it's just the stupidest stuff, but it's like a train wreck. I can't stop watching. And there's always good music on it because every night they have a different band that plays. Sometimes they do these touching things because like Jesse likes to support the warriors, so the soldiers. And they had this one, they helicoptered this guy in who had been wounded over in Afghanistan. He was in a wheelchair, and brought him on the stage at Full Throttle Saloon for the performance, and so you get that, but then it's just all this insane craziness and people fighting with each other. I swear they stage the fights. They talk about it ahead of time because you just the things they argue about is like really.
Yeah, and that's one of my. I've mentioned before on this show that I'm not a fan of reality TV, but I thought it'd be a fun thing to talk about tonight. But that's my beef with a lot of the reality TV shows. Is I wonder how much of it is scripted.
Right.
And I know a lot of it's not, but I think when some of them initially became popular, I remember The Real World on MTV. I think was one of the first shows that really hit big, like on cable.
Right.
I used to like that, like the first several seasons, and I think that got scripted after a while, and that's what it seemed like they were creating more and more fights between the people, and I'm sure that was set up at least to a degree, and that's one thing that
between the people on the show. I don't know necessarily if the producers and all that were saying, okay, let's go this angle, but they were kind of coming up with things on their own. I almost suspect.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to say for sure. I don't want to say everyone out there is a big fat liar, but that's one thing that's turned me off from it. I used to enjoy Survivor, though. I have to say that.
The first season I liked. I had fun with that one.
I was into Survivor probably the first 2 or 3 seasons, and I got away from that one. I remember, the woman who hosts one of the co-hosts of The View. I know started on Survivor, Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Did she really?
Yeah, Hasselbeck is her married name. She's married to an athlete. I forget her what her maiden name was, but I think she was on either the first or second season rather. And I remember she was honestly one of the reasons I watched, because the women on there were a little scantily clad back in the day. I don't know if they still are. I would imagine so, being on hot islands and shit. But I thought she was really cute. And do you guys remember a movie with Rob Schneider called The Animal?
Yes.
I thought of that movie.
Citizen Kane of the 1990s.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. I know that's going to be preserved by all the film association people later on. But the actress who was in that as his love interest, I think her name was Colleen Haskell, and she was from Survivor. That was the thing. She was on Survivor. She was a real little cutie, and she kept popping up in different magazines, like in What the Stars Are Wearing, and then that created and I think ended her film career there. I don't think she did any more acting after that. Hard to believe. I mean, do you think Rob could have thrown her in one of the Deuce Bigalow movies or something after that? But
who knows?
Apparently, Rob Schneider is not about the handouts.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Wow. Probably because no one's ever done cards for him. Like it's done a special presentation. Maybe if you had done a presentation with cards about
the concept of cards is just lost on him.
It is. Damn you, Rob. Get it together. So Xavier, let's hop back to you for another reality show that you like or don't like.
Okay. Well, I was going to bring up one, but I did a little searching around earlier on for reality shows that I had never seen, but ones that people had rated online as being really bad. And there's one that stuck out, and I haven't seen it before, but let me know if any of you guys have heard of it. It's called Bridalplasty.
Bridalplasty?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but it is not one that I have found and watched at this point.
Do you know what the concept is, Melissa?
It's them getting plastic surgery before their wedding, right?
To get a perfect wedding.
Oh, to get a perfect wedding?
Yeah, no. Get the plastic surgery so that way they will have a perfect wedding.
Oh, good God.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like an elimination show where they starts off with 12 people, and they eliminate, and the winner, the one who's standing at the end, gets the plastic surgery.
Interesting.
Oh my Lord. Yes,
wow.
Interesting's a kind word.
Yeah. So could you imagine being eliminated from the show? So it's just we're sorry, but you've been eliminated from bridalplasty. You'll still be able to get married, but it won't be perfect.
Oh my! Wow.
Yeah, I see Dave Navarro saying that. You do not have it what it takes for bridalplasty.
Dave Navarro. Perfect.
Wow.
What's he doing? Nothing.
Interesting. So did you see some of this show, on YouTube?
No, I've merely just read about it and saw some screen grabs, and that was enough for moi. I will have to download the entire first season and watch it. I'll have to see all of it.
There are so many bizarre concepts out there now. I remember, I think Bravo was one of those channels that spearheaded some of the competition reality shows, and I can remember watching Sheer Genius. You guys probably... Yeah. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay, Sheer Genius, buddy, because I know you're looking what is this?
Sheer Genius.
Sheer Genius is a competition reality show, and I think it ended. It's not on anymore, but basically they brought in hairstylists, and they had all these different competitions that they had to do. And one of them that I always thought was fun was the hair art. They would just go and do what you can imagine is getting out the fluffed up egg whites to stiffen their hair up and create birds' nests and feathers coming out of it, and putting all kinds of jewels and piling their hair up and turning it into basically sculpture, hair sculpture.
Wow.
Exactly. There you go.
I think I have heard of the show. Now that I think about it.
Beautiful, Xavier. You could go on right now. And I think what I what caught my attention, like I'm into that kind of stuff, any kind of fun, art, whatever it is you want to do. But I think what really grabbed my attention on that, this is going back to what we were saying earlier about the things that are staged, is how the contestants would snipe at each other.
Yeah, that's the best part.
And it's just like, you can just imagine, it's like, well, Julio, he's just a little bitch, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, whoa!
Oh, my.
Yeah, the best part about it is that no one is aware that each and every one of them is garbage. That's the best part.
Oh, man. It's craziness.
They're just sentient garbage walking around thinking they're not garbage.
They're very into themselves, let me tell you.
Yeah. Narcissistic garbage monsters.
Well, I guess you have to be to go on a show like that. I don't know. Although I will say I have one of my favorite shows, reality shows I watch all the time. It's running right now, and that's Ink Masters.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that one, yeah.
You seen this one, Xavier?
Yep.
Okay, I do like to watch this one because I do think there are good artists on it, and the artwork can be fantastic. It can also be like, what the hell are they doing there?
Yeah.
But that's why I brought Dave Navarro, because he hosts it, and if you don't know who Dave Navarro is, he's in the band Jane's Addiction, I believe.
Was in the band.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He himself is interesting to look at on the show. If you don't know him, go look him up. Hit some images on Google.
Why? He looks like a Tim Burton version of a rock star.
Yeah.
Now he's got this funky haircut. Like before, it was just like kind of shoulder length, silky black hair. And of course, he's covered in tattoos because you can't have somebody on this show, hosting the show who does not have tattoos. That would be silliness. But he actually
face tattooed.
What's that?
He should have his face tattooed.
I think he does, but it's not like here. It's like over here or something.
Yeah, like Mike Tyson has the tattoo.
Yeah. You needed to get that Mike Tyson thing.
But his
you
co-host.
Get that, you're never coming on the show again.
Wait a minute! Wasn't on that movie Hangover? The guy wakes up with like a Mike Tyson tattoo on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's co-hosted by two well-known tattoo artists, Chris Nunez and Oliver Peck. If you don't know tattooing, or you're not into that, then you don't know who the hell they are. But they're like top of their field, excellent tattoo artists, and each for their own reasons and styles. But as much as I love the art, and my husband and I, we appreciate the good art, but then it's the personalities again. They're insane, and they show them. You know how they do with these reality shows. They house them in some, fancy pants loft somewhere, and they film them just bickering at each other and getting on each other's nerves. And there's been this one guy, and I always laugh because every time I see him, I think duck mouth. He's got this, and I don't mean this kind of flat mouth. I mean the other end of the duck.
You do that the rest of the show. Just talk like a.
But he is so full of himself, and he's just made enemies everywhere he goes. I'm like, they must interview these people and go, he's the one for us. He will make the most crap go down amongst the contestants. They're going to fight. And they had this guy on this year, and I know I'm babbling on this, but they had this guy on this year where everything, whenever they critiqued his art, if he got what he considered, a bad critique, it was like because he was gay. Because this industry doesn't embrace gay men. And Chris Nunez is like, this has nothing to do with you being gay. We are reviewing your artwork.
Oh, wow.
And when he finally, they do the elimination, so every show you get rid of somebody. When they finally eliminated him, because his work was bleh, it was not good artwork, but they finally eliminated him. At the end, he was just like, he said the stupidest thing. He was just being bitchy, and he's like, and Chris Nunez, my boyfriend doesn't think you're all that. And I was like, what? Who cares?
Wow.
You're a bitchy queen. Get the hell off the show.
I'm just noticing we have quite a few great comments here. I want to share a few of them before we move on to the next show. Patrick Stemp says, the only reality show I watch is Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, I've seen that.
So many seasons, even the awesomeness that is Gordon Ramsay is starting to get old. Love his management style, though.
He's the hammer, man. He's just like,
Uh,
oh, damn.
I've never watched a full. Maybe I was forced to watch a whole episode one time, but man, that guy got on my nerves. I mean, I get you want things to be done a certain way, but he was just being a all-out jerk to people, and I know that's his thing, and he wants things perfect. But that I talked about that during one of my walking shows. When someone's just a mean person, that turns me off.
Oh, it depends. It depends. I
Yeah.
think it can be entertaining to a certain extent, but it does get old fast. Because what's the shtick? How often can you scream in somebody's face and make them cry? I mean,
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, I do it. In my
but keep it entertaining. How can it's like after a while I'm like, well, damn.
I tap dance when I do it. I'm like, you're a big jerk. I hate you, you loser.
But there are like entire YouTube compilation videos of Gordon Ramsay just yelling, always yelling. And those are great.
MGon says the animal was just on TV a few days ago. Maybe he watched it then. And
some cable company was feeling smart that weekend.
he also did a quote. He said, "Everybody is a big fat liar," and I think you hear that on half of the reality shows.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, here's one from David.
Death.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Xavier.
No.
This is from Mr. David Anson, a good friend of the show. He said, you can't forget the very first reality TV show, Ozzie and Harriet. Okay, maybe not really reality TV, but for the 1950s, it was all they had. Can you imagine what would happen if there was a time warp and Honey Boo Boo showed up on the TVs in the 1950s? I think that might have just stopped the whole advent of television and the popularity of television. I think people would have been like throwing their TV sets out. I've never seen Honey Boo Boo. I shouldn't criticize it, but the little bit I know about it, oh my God, it sounds horrible.
Well, didn't Honey Boo Boo come out of one of those pageant shows?
Yeah.
There was something and tiaras.
Yeah, toddlers and tiaras.
Which I just find horrendous. I'm sorry, I do.
Yeah,
I would never dress my little girl up and put fake teeth in her. And, the people who are on these shows, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Xavier, but I just have something to say about this, who spray tan their toddlers and do them up to look like they're 16 years old. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, I'm horrified. And you can all hate me. I don't care. I think it's scary. I really do.
I've never shared this with either of you, but that was a big part of my childhood. My parents dressed me up like that. I was in shows. That was my start into showbiz, and I think some of those videos might show up on YouTube soon.
Well, I remember seeing, and this wasn't on one of the shows. This was the documentary about it. It was basically how they, when they get their pageant pictures done, they Photoshop the hell out of those things. Yeah. Obviously, if you've ever seen them, they look like porcelain dolls. It's like they almost age them to make them look older than they are, and that just that's creepy. It's just creepy.
Yeah, I don't like television shows that feed into what I like to call the culture of dumb. And things like toddlers and tiaras, those people, like the mothers and fathers who put their kids in, they are dumb. The mother of Honey Boo Boo and that awful family, they're dumb. The people of Duck Dynasty, they're especially dumb.
I have friends who love that show.
I cannot believe the popularity of that show.
Oh my God.
People like to watch dumb people.
What I can't get over is, I work for a pretty prestigious department store, right? Mm-hmm. And this past year, they've had Duck Dynasty merchandise like crazy.
Everywhere.
And I don't work at like Kmart or Walmart or any of the other fine, not so fine marts out there. This is like a pretty big store. They put on a parade every Thanksgiving, and they have all this Duck Dynasty merchandise. I just don't get it. I don't get the popularity of that.
People want to buy it. It's everywhere. I was in the Hallmark store, and there was Duck Dynasty, and people are into it. I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes, and the episode I saw was the guy going out and getting a bunch of crawfish, and you have to soak those, I guess, before you cook them, and he was soaking them in the bathtub. And they live in this huge, really nice house. He's got this bathtub full of crawfish. I'm just like,
wow.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a show about rednecks who have become rich, and
Taking
yet,
people duck hunting, right? Isn't that the premise?
well, then I think one of the guys owns like a company that makes duck calls or something like that.
Okay.
Like the family is somewhat wealthy, but despite being wealthy, they are still dumb.
MGI said in the comments, yes, thank you. The culture of dumb. We do have a couple other good comments. What did Jim say here? He said, and this is a couple of the shows we've already mentioned. Jim Giplin says, worst of the worst is Honey Boo Boo, the one with the pageant children, Duck Dynasty, Swapping Wives, and the Wives of Overpaid County. Yeah, they have a Wives of a different county
Oh
every
yeah, they
year.
have the Wives of Orange County, the Wives
Yeah.
of whatever. I mean, they've been all over the place. That I'm just, oh my God, the way they portray these women, it's like it's how you want to be seen on television. Are you kidding me?
Hey, you know what? We haven't done something yet tonight.
What?
Record.
Oh. Album.
Album of the
Album.
week.
What do we
Yeah.
have? Bum, bum, bum,
Can
bum.
either of you tell what the album of the week is right now?
I can't. Bangles?
It is the Bangles.
Yay!
Yes. I have to say, I love the Bangles.
Bangles are
The
awesome.
Bangles.
The Bangles were a very, very, and I shouldn't say were because they're back together again, but they are a very, very talented group, all very good musicians. This was probably their most popular album. It's called Different Light, and most people would know this for the hit songs Manic Monday.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yes!
There
Sorry.
you go. There you go. And If She Knew What She Wants. Those were the big hits off of here. Fantastic album. All of their albums are good. I saw them once in concert, probably for the album after this. But fantastic live band.
And you should know, he saw them.
I did see them. I did see
Saw
them.
them.
I did. I
With-
saw them.
With
Yeah.
your eyes.
I saw them. I saw them with binoculars because I got to say, they're not unattractive women. And I know my friend and I were like passing the binoculars back and forth because some of them were wearing the mini skirts. They're doing little splits on the stage and
you
stuff
guys
like
had
that.
binoculars?
Yes, we did.
And
Well,
then
but
that
mainly
really
'cause we
narrow
were-
scope of vision, so you got to switch between which bangle you're looking at.
But
that
really,
Bangle?
awesome group. If you're not listening to the Bangles, you should have some Bangles in your music collection. That's all I'm gonna say.
They're awesome. And I
Get some
see on
vitamin
the
bangle into you.
on the other side of your shoulder is a picture of you and your lovely girlfriend,
Yes, my lovely girlfriend Lisa.
which is the cutest damn picture.
Well, thank you. Lisa's awesome. She's a beautiful, wonderful lady.
Yes, she is. Oh my God, buddy! When you're up on when you're the one talking and the camera's on you, I look over and I get scared. I'm like, whoa!
I know. Yeah, thank Carl
you
Sinclair
scared
there.
me
That's
during
not.
my show.
Fresh from the set of Lord of the Rings.
I'm curious how long Mr. Sinclair's beard is going to get there. It's going to be an interesting experiment. The Walking Rob, I think you both know The Walking Rob, and I encourage our viewers to go here on YouTube to The Walking Rob. Rob is one of the new people that has he's not a new person, he's been a person, but there's a walking podcasts and videocasts have gotten to be a big thing in the past few weeks. And there's like 7 or 8 just in our group who are doing it now. Melissa just started one up. You can find hers on her YouTube channel. It's Walking Rob's got a great show, and he says here that he's listening from the beginning. Trust me, I'm Lying is a great book.
Oh, cool! He's read it.
I actually talked about it on my walking show.
Oh, I
2
missed
days
that one.
ago.
I have to go watch that one.
Ryan Holiday just came out with a new book this week too.
Cool.
All right, awesome.
I have to say, it's kind of hard reading a book entitled "Trust Me, I'm Lying." Because you're questioning everything he says. It's like, is he lying? Is he telling the truth? When do you know? When someone admits to you they're a liar.
Great. How about any other shows you two would like to talk about?
I have to bring up one, and then I will hand it over to our guest host. But I caught this one a couple weeks ago. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that this was a well, I can, because they'll do anything with reality shows. And this one, I believe, is on Bravo. And it's it's on TLC. I'm looking at its webpage now. What? And there were back-to-back episodes of this. It's called Buying Naked.
Buying naked?
Yes,
What
buying
does it mean?
naked. And
Yeah.
it's basically about Pasco County, Florida, which apparently has the world's largest nudist communities. And this real estate agent, her name's Jackie Youngblood, is like, that's her niche. She helps people find homes in clothing optional communities. And what I was watching, how they do it is they bring in a couple and they're naked. They go shopping for their home naked.
Wow.
The real estate agent, she stays clothed during the whole thing, but apparently she lives in a nudist community. And there are different types of nudist communities. There's like the gated ones, and it's all nudist, and that's, if you don't like being a nudist, don't move into this community. And then there's ones that they're not gated and set up, but what has happened is it's become a nudist community, and pretty much nudists live there. If you happen to buy a house there and you're not a nudist, God be with you. But she takes them around to all the different houses, and I laughed my ass off. I must have watched 4 episodes back to back because it was one of those things. It was late at night, and I couldn't. It was a train wreck. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And the funniest thing is they're standing around talking about, oh, this counter, it's perfect. It's great for a nudist lifestyle. It's got the beveled corners, and they got these straight-ass faces.
Wow. Now, whenever I've spent time on nude beaches, usually like the majority of the people there aren't like, your buff model types.
No.
Now, how about the ones on this show? Are you seeing like,
Well, the people in the communities, and they pan the cameras out, and they blur out the bits. But I'm just like, come on, can we get over that already? But they blur out the bits. But yeah, these are not, the people who live in these communities are not all buff and airbrushed and beautiful for magazines. They're real people. Now, the people buying the houses, the ones I saw, and they must have, picked like the best looking couples because they were rather attractive couples.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't mind seeing them naked, but and they always, here's the funniest thing. When they show them, like they're looking around, oh yeah, this would be great room, this with the dogs, there's lots of room for they're standing there butt ass naked, but they will strategically place decorations.
Oh, good, yes.
Oh, okay.
So you're not looking at, all the family jewels and things like that.
Oh, wow. So they're
Family jewels
decking
and
the balls.
What creative words did you use for genitalia?
Oh, don't get me talking about what to call genitalia. I work in a group. I have a co-op, romance writers. And we write everything from young adult to full-fledged erotica, so we discuss all our favorite terminology for those.
Oh, well, you got to share one or two now. Come on.
Well, there's the ones, like, everybody has their pet peeve, the thing that they hate. Like, to refer to the male genitalia, we all have ones that we hate. I have to say it.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's just...
Shaft. I hate the word shaft. I'm like, really? It makes me feel like I'm learning how to drive stick. No, I don't like shaft.
Shaft is cool. He's a badass mofo.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Well, Shaft is.
I'm just
but
talking
not
about Shaft.
No.
Damn
And don't
right.
get me started on the women's genitalia. There are some really bizarre things out there.
What was the thing? I think you complained about it before. Was it in Twilight where they were talking about what was it? Something about a breast, like it felt like something, or
Oh, you know what it was? It was The Notebook. I was reading.
oh, The Notebook. Yeah, I always get that and Twilight mixed up.
And I hate that book. I love the movie. I hate that book. It's. I don't. The writing is all over the place, and when he is describing
Wasn't it like
a
nipples
sex,
felt like pancakes or something?
it was like he said her nipples were like little rocks. I was
Okay.
like, what? Because when you're making love, that's what you want to hear. Your nipples are like little rocks. It wasn't pebbles. He didn't say pebbles. He said little rocks.
I gotta stop using that line, I guess. Michael Laron says the best reality shows out there today are the ones that follow interesting businesses. Inked, Cake Boss.
Oh yes, Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, Tanked, etc. Way better than the contestant-based reality shows these days.
Oh, you know which one that's fun to watch?
What's that?
Is it Pawn something. It's the one in Vegas. Is it Pawn
Pawn
Stars?
Wars, Pawn Star. I think there's a few different Pawn
Yeah.
things.
But it's the one at the family business in Vegas.
Oh,
And
okay.
his
I remember
dad's
seeing
just
some of it.
like, "Rrr," and he's got that funny kind of always gruff,
Yeah,
grumpy.
I think that one's Pawn Stars.
Yeah, that's a good one. I watch that. I enjoy it. Well, you know what I like about it is that people bring in these things that they have to have evaluated. Like, oh, this was a map used by Lewis and Clark and blah blah blah. And it's some of it's authentic, some of it's not.
and it's really like a by Jerry Lewis and Dick Clark,
Yeah.
that they used.
No, they bring in stuff like Elvis, one of Elvis's suits.
Is that your roommate, Xavier?
No, it's house sitting, and one of the dogs thinks that there's something happening, but the house is silent. Just
Something's
waking up from
outside.
sleep going, what?
We're coming up on the hour mark. Xavier, do you
Are
have
we
another
really?
show that you might want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll quickly bring up both Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge
Oh, that's new. Yeah.
and Face Off.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about those, please.
They're both very similar in the concept. Face Off is all about makeup artists competing in a challenge to find out who's the best makeup artist amongst them. And each week they're challenged by having to make like a full-on werewolf suit, or like make zombie makeup, or just like special effects things that you see in Hollywood. So they'll have to make the mask, they'll have to paint it, they'll have to do all that stuff to make your full-on Friday the 13th Jason murderer character for screen.
Okay, interesting.
I think one of my favorite ones on that, because I've watched episodes of that, is when they did the dragons.
Yeah.
And some of the masks, I mean, some of them were just beautiful and incredibly well done, and some of them I'm going, where's his nose? Where's his eye? And while I can appreciate, they were going for such and such a look, it was like, if I can't even figure out what I'm looking at, no. And I have to laugh because I'm not an artist like that, and who am I to judge? But that's what these shows are about, right?
And then equally on with the Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, that one just started this year, and it's very much like Face Off, but instead of doing like prosthetic work like on a human being, like it's how like you'd have a monster suit that's like a werewolf head, and then the chest and hands and stuff like that. All that's made with prosthetics and latex and stuff like that. Instead of doing it on a person, you're doing it the Jim Henson way and doing like a puppet.
Okay, cool.
So you have to. So in about 3 days or so, you have to flesh out your skeleton of your robot, and have all of its mechanics in there to make its eyes move. And then you got to put the fur or whatever skin that's on it, and it's got to be able to move and stuff like that.
Oh, that sounds really cool, and that's fairly new, huh?
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be the 7th episode's airing on Tuesday.
Oh, very, very
I think the
cool.
thing that's cool about that show is it's it's as much the mechanics and making sure that it works as it is creating this, piece of art.
Yeah, exactly. And then that was like always the challenge that Jim Henson put forward to, because you are trying to breathe life into an inanimate object, and in doing so, it has to be so lifelike that there's that suspension of disbelief, where you can actually almost believe that it's like when it turns to look at you, the way that you move the hand makes it look like it's not just looking forward, it's looking at you.
Right.
And it's just these little subtleties, and they really stress that in that show to make so that when it moves, it's not just walking, it's got a sluggish walk because its back's made of heavy scales, and it makes sense with gravity of the way that character would walk.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I'm curious to see that now. Oh, we got a great comment here from David Anson I have to share. I think the only reality show I have ever watched was Dirtiest Jobs.
I love that one. Go ahead.
Except the time I was abducted and given the choice between an anal probe and Honey Boo Boo. I chose Honey Boo Boo. I'm almost certain I made a mistake. That's great, David.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry that didn't work out for you the way that you would have hoped.
Ooh.
I would have taken the
Hey, Xavier, I had a request of you earlier in the show. Would you be willing to do that for me? Your Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum impersonation?
okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, everyone's familiar with the great, fantastic actor Jeff Goldblum,
Yep.
This is
and
becoming the Sunday night variety show.
it is, it is.
Where
So,
I
ladies
have
and gentlemen, Mr. Xavier Granville as Jeff Goldblum.
All right, if I may, I'll tell you the problem with your scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you didn't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even know what you had, you patented it, you packaged it, you slapped it on the plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You're selling it. You're selling it.
Fantastic.
Now it's from the movie Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yes, Jurassic Park.
Ian Malcolm, a great character.
Yeah, fantastic character. Probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Hey, didn't he play The Fly? Didn't Jeff Goldblum
Oh
play
yeah,
The
he
Fly?
played the Fly. Yeah.
Yes, I was a fly.
He goes "Bleh" on his teeth.
Answer.
Say it. Do that again.
Well, I've become a fly. I had genetic cancer. My girlfriend is Gina Davis. She's a lovely girl. I quite enjoy her. She's very talented and tall.
Hey, how about those two together in Earth Girls Are Easy? You guys remember that movie?
Yeah,
Oh my God, I have not
very
seen that
well.
movie in ages.
I have to rewatch that one. I haven't seen it since I was a wee little boy.
Yeah, so I remember Gina Davis in a little bikini scene there before the aliens landed in her pool, and that was that's what I most remember. I remember Jim Carrey was in that in one of his first roles,
Mhm.
and again, worth checking out for that Gina Davis bikini scene.
Always worth it.
Yeah, I don't know why Jim Giblin said this, but he said "throbbing tube of manhood."
Because we were talking about terms.
Oh
for
yes,
genital-
yes. I thought it was just a random thought of his. He just wanted to say "throbbing tube of manhood."
Yeah, and it has an I in there too. Like,
Yeah.
a throbbing tube of manhood. Got mighty Jewish all of a sudden. The throbbing tube of manhood.
MG says, speaking of Manic Monday, tomorrow is Revenge of the Fifth. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh
Today's
yeah, I
the fourth
forgot
be
about
with you.
Revenge of the Fifth.
Yeah,
Hey, I
did not
posted
hear.
that this morning. You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Yeah. And there really are all kinds of nudist communities. I live in a closed nudist community. Ha ha.
Ah.
MGN. MGN's great. MGN's going to have a show soon called the Flexing Podcast.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. He said that as a joke, but
Yeah, and I'm trying to put together my show, which will be called the Xavier Granville Show and Cats, where I'm going to be hanging out on my couch with about a dozen cats.
are you going to do that for real? That would be awesome.
I'm gonna try to do it.
Yeah. That
Wait,
would be
are
great.
these all your cats, or are you going to abduct them from the neighborhood?
Well, see, I need to figure out a way to actually do it legitly, but on the camera, I'm going to say that they're not my cats and that someone brings them in every day for the show, and that I'm not very happy with having all these cats here because I don't know what cats they are, and I don't know what diseases they might have.
If the show takes off, maybe just like people will be like bringing their cats there for each week's show.
Yeah,
That could be dangerous. That could be another form of hoarders.
yeah. So
I love it.
it's called the Xavier Granville Show and Cats.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about? We're a little over the hour mark right now.
There's so many reality shows out there. Go ahead, Xavier.
I'd come up with a concept for a reality show the other day.
Oh yeah, I'd
Oh,
love
what
to
is
hear
it?
that.
It's called Heaven's Bathroom.
Okay.
Okay,
Instead of Hell's Kitchen, it's Heaven's
Ah.
Bathroom.
I like it so far.
Hosted by Jordan Bamsey. And it's all about 12 contestants.
12.
Yeah, 12 of them all competing to be the #1 bathroom attendant. and it's 12 bathroom attendants.
You mean like the
One
guy who hands you the towel and you give him $1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's 12 of these guys in in one bathroom. So immediately when someone walks in, there's 12 people all offering you mints and scope and immediately bombard you with all these people asking you like questions when you go to the bathroom. You're just trying to take this, and asking you questions because they're really trying to impress the judges, so that way they don't get eliminated.
Oh, I like that. And little obstacles could be thrown in there too. Now, Melissa, you probably don't spend a lot of time at urinals, but Xavier, you probably know this. Don't you hate when you go and like someone's got like a crumpled up trash or paper towels in the urinal?
Disrespectful of the fine establishment that you were staying at.
Exactly. But that could be a thing where like these people competing have to like reach in and pull that out of the the urinal and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll all be fighting over who gets to do it because they all want to.
Yeah.
So they can prove themselves to the judges.
Right. I think you have a hit TV show on your hands here.
Heaven's Bathroom.
I love it. I can't think of a finer note to end on than that.
Then Heaven's Bathroom. There we go. That's going to be the next reality show.
Yeah. Oh, I can think of a finer note to end on, actually. And that's that somebody that's on this show right now just released 3 books this past week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, and it wasn't that other guy. It was Lummis.
Yes, I released the first 3 novellas in my series called The Little Flame, and the titles are 9:30, Electric, and Starland, and they're the first 3, and I have 7 more coming. I've already got the 4th one done. I'm in the middle of writing the 5th one. They're fast-paced and paranormal, of course, urban fantasy. And I've had a good release. I've been selling steady, so I'm pretty excited about
fantastic.
it. And they're on sale for 99 cents until May 6th. So and then they'll be $2.99. So get your copy now.
Yeah, get them now and check out her other books too. And also be sure to check out Melissa's show on her YouTube channel, her walking show.
Yeah, Walking on My Road.
Yeah, and I've got Walking Buddy, and that's on my YouTube channel. I'll put links at the bottom of this for everybody for that. And Xavier's going to have that cat show coming up sometime soon.
Either that or
sitting on the couch with cats.
Yeah, either that or I'll just do a show. Like since everyone's doing all these walking shows, I'll just do a show where I'm just sitting. And Stationary Jerry.
Oh, you should.
What you need is a big old Barco lounger, right, with the bowl of chips and the beer and.
Yeah, it'll be Stationary Jerry, and I'll just do a Jerry Seinfeld impression the whole time. What's the deal with all these walking shows?
Every show could be every episode could be a different impersonation. Yeah. Stationary Jerry, Stationary Goldblum. Yeah. Oh, Stationary Goldblum! I can't wait to see that one.
Do you do a Christopher Walken impersonation?
Well, it's tough to do a Walken impression.
Like, oh my God!
So many tonalities to it that it's easy to fuck up.
That was awesome! Oh God, I love Christopher Walken.
He's awesome, but like I like to have fun with impressions, but you know what? Like it's so easy to just not do them right. So like I have fun with them, but I do not think that I do them very well.
Well, I disagree with you there.
I disagree too, because that is fun. You did a good job.
Xavier, I want to thank you so much for being our guest tonight.
Yes,
this was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. This has been
no
awesome.
Problem. Yeah, let me know if you want me back again sometime.
Well, I didn't say we want that, but it was fun having you here.
I said let me know. Buddy. You let me know. I have nothing.
I love you. You're like the Canadian little brother I've always wanted. So. Sure. Melissa, congrats again on the books. You have a fantastic week. Looking forward to your upcoming walking episodes, too.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do a few more this week. I'm trying to keep them short. You know, it's easy to just go on and on.
Well, I'm keeping mine, like, I'm walking a mile in mine, so I figure they're all going to be like between 15 and 20 minutes long, and I cut them off at that point. So, all right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't watch too much reality TV or TV in general. Get out there and enjoy life. Okay?
Especially now, it's beautiful out. Well, it is here.
Yeah, dumb.
Dumb
Avoid
TV
the
makes
culture
you
of dumb.
Avoid the culture of dumb. But
Don't be
keep
dumb.
watching this show, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Watch the show. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, watch the show. Don't be dumb. All right, good night, everybody. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you
Good
soon.
night. May the 4th be with you.